up, everybody, and welcome back to the Reality Kingdom, where we put the real in reality or whatever. Period. I'm your host, Pharaoh. We're Lee.
What?
Wonderful Lee.
Yeah, get that out correctly.
Amazing
next
Lee.
time.
What would your superhero name be?
I don't know.
Because I thought of the Amazing Spider-Man, and I'm like, the Amazing Lee. I like that. I like that.
Like maybe it would just be Lee.
Just Lee.
Mm-hmm.
Lee.
I always thought that would be my celebrity name, Lee.
Okay, celebrity. I think that's cunty. Superhero, like you're just Lee. Like it don't got nothing to do with what you got to do. Like, what do you do? What's your power?
I don't know. You put me on the spot, girl. I don't know. What's the context?
Okay. You can think about it. I always wanted to, when I was growing up and I was a little boy, I always loved the power of shape-shifting. I always loved shape-shifting. When they were always like, what power would you have? They asked that at school. They asked that on random get to know, whatever. I would always say shape-shifting. I loved Beast Boy from Teen Titans so much. That was my king. I was really fucking with him. And I just feel like I really resonated well. Other than being green. I don't want to be green. I just want to shapeshift, truly.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think mine would be reading minds.
Ooh. That's cunty.
Maybe because I'm nosy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm always wondering what people are thinking.
Do you feel like that goes alongside like your sixth? I feel like both of our answers goes very well with like our personalities, because I feel like you're very empathetic, and I feel like I'm very what's the word, code switchy a lot. Like I can kind of shapeshift in ways, so I feel like that's like
that's true,
a thought into your mind. So chat, comment below what your superpower would be so we can get to know you a little better. I feel like it's a great little question. Oh, that was just so cunty. What a great intro.
You kind of ate that.
Yes. Speaking of superheroes, Jane is my sister. I love her down. She's truly the queen of this season now that the other queens are gone. And damn.
But she went on a high note, didn't she? My queen, my diva. She said, bitch, if I started it, I'm putting it the fuck out.
Amen. That was so cunty. I love Jane. This season really birthed queen. All the men duds for me. I'm sorry. None of them are iconic. I don't need to see any of them back. But honestly, I truly could have had Brenda, Jane, Holly, Nyanka, Purple Kelly all come back and play again. I genuinely love them.
And then we got all these damn men at the end.
Let me pull up the screen because it's actually ridiculous. God damn. Mind you, Jane's gone. It's just Holly and a bunch of men. Like,
oh my God. And now I'm really starting to see more and more how Fabio won over these last two episodes. I feel like we really saw how emotionally driven this cast is.
Oh, yes.
As far as when making strategic decisions. So I can easily see why Sash isn't the champion now, because we've already spoken about how he's not really that charismatic and he isn't anyone's closest ally. But now, like, he's doing things that's like upsetting the jury. Same with Chase. No one respects Dan. Benry is now out. At this point, I only assume that Holly or Fabio can win, and I am pretty confident Holly does not make the final tribal. Yeah. So now it's looking clear, and it's even looking clearer, I feel like, for production as well, because they knew for a fact they couldn't concoct a winner edit throughout this entire season, which is why they kept throwing in these random moments of Fabio just saying anything. But these last two episodes we just watched, I feel like we got a lot more Fabio than usual. And not that they're trying to make him seem smarter, because it's hard to do that when he's not really doing anything. But we're getting a lot of his input and a lot of his thinking, and we never really had that. So I just found it interesting.
Mind you, his thinking and input is irrelevant to everything that's happening. So it's like, it's not even hitting at all. But also, I will say, it doesn't even feel like the jury will vote for Fabio at this point. When he speaks and they flash to them, they're groaning. Like, they're rolling their eyes. They're like, this dummy. There was one of these tribal councils where everyone kind of was talking about how they were damn near going to go after Fabio and Dan next. And Fabio didn't say anything. He was like, well, I don't know. And then they flashed to the jury, and the jury was like rolling their eyes. So even at this moment, it doesn't seem like Fabio could win either. It really seems like they don't want to vote. And you know what? The truth is, they probably don't want to vote any of these bitches.
Yeah.
It's truly just who do I want to vote more than no? Who do I hate the most? Is who I'm not going to vote. I think is what it comes down to because they don't vote for Fabio. They vote against.
And Fabio does the least to piss people off.
Literally, because he does the least. Period.
He does nothing at all.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if they were ready to vote Holly and she just couldn't make it there.
I think so as well. I think Holly is a very viable. I think obviously Jane. At this point, before Jane goes home, I think obviously Jane is genuinely going to get all of the jury votes. I think people respect her game. I think people really like her. But after Jane, I think the only other option was Holly. Chase it's extremely difficult to respect Chase. He's such a weak ass. He's just very weak and everyone knows it. So you can't respect Chase. Sash isn't respectable either though. He doesn't feel, and you know what I will say? Surprised this is how it happened. I thought Sash just flipped on all them bitches.
Yeah, me too.
He didn't really do anything that different than Holly, honestly.
Or Chase.
You know, like I don't think he did anything that different, but I just feel like he's not respectable. He just seems slimy, you know? So yeah. But hey, we're here. We come back from the tribal council after Kelly and Ayaka quit. And Sash is now in between these two trios. And he's immediately telling Chase and Benry and Fabio that he's wanting to work with them. He just wants to get rid of the idol and find his group. He wants to just move forward with one group. And at this moment, I'm thinking, oh, he's probably going to move forward with them. And Chase,
I thought he was really going to flip this episode.
Yeah, and he didn't. And Chase was like working it. He was giving like good ass, opinions. He was like, well, Jane is always going to win, and you should do this, or not Chase. Benry's like, yeah, Jane is probably going to win, and you shouldn't go with her anyways, and da 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 da. So I really thought it was going to influence him, but it didn't, I guess.
Yeah, he makes his own decisions at the end of the day. Mm-hmm. I'm wondering, like, is there a way he could have maneuvered this in game to potentially win?
It's a great question. It's a great question.
I'm not necessarily seeing it.
Because I thought this was the way he needed to maneuver it, is by going with the 4, but he does go with the 4. So now I'm like, I don't know why. I know why he lost, because I can feel through the screen that I don't really respect him. But it's like, he didn't really do anything wrong, in my opinion, yet. Because even the Brenda thing, he didn't turn on Brenda. Everyone else was voting Brenda out. What was he going to do? Not vote her out? So it's like, even that wasn't that slimy. The Jane thing, everyone was voting out Jane. It wasn't just him. So it's like, these things that he has done that are not loyal are kind of just the way of the tribe, and he's flowing with it. But hey, we'll see. Child. So he talks to Chase. Chase is pulling him towards the ladies. Chase is like, our best interest is to go with Holly and Jane. You and I should obviously stick together. We've been working together this whole time, yada, yada, yada. So, of course, he's in between the two. And in this conversation, Chase says, yeah, and anyways, you should be fine moving forward because you're going to go on the next reward. Everybody would take you. I would take you. You and Holly obviously will go on this next reward because y'all haven't been on one. Girl.
And it's like, I don't understand why people do unnecessary stuff like this. Like, for a fact you're good at competitions. You could potentially win a challenge. Why would you promise someone something that you're not going to follow through with? Literally, That's the same episode where you promised it. Probably within the same day you promised it.
Probably the same day.
You didn't do it. It's like, I would have definitely flipped on our asses if I was petty. Like, they lucky Sash is not a petty ass bitch, because I would have flipped and not looked back.
Yeah, it's crazy because he really just should have took Sash. Everyone felt like he should have took Sash, because we get to the reward. Of course, Chase wins the reward, and when he's deciding who to bring, he brings Holly because Holly hasn't had a reward. Keeping in mind, he just told Sash he would bring Holly and him. I don't know what he was thinking, but he brings Jane. But it's like, this is a common occurrence with Chase. Every time he's tasked with some type of decision, he just goes with the person he likes the best. And it's like, that's not what this game is about. I'm sorry. Back with Brenda, it's like, you're choosing Brenda when she's falling into, everyone's voting Brenda, and you're still trying to choose Brenda. Come on now.
What's crazy is, too, he clocks it himself. Like, he immediately is like, oh, I should have did that, should I? And it's like, so why did you do it? And I guess he's really just a good person, I guess. Like, he wanted to do what his heart wanted to do, which That's the one redeeming quality about Chase. You could tell he's like a really good person, it seems. But other than that, girl, that's not gonna win you $1 million.
I actually like Chase because he's that one, but also he is smart. It's weird. He is smart. He just does dumb things. Like you said, he knows this was the wrong move because he's smart enough to know that this was the wrong move. He just does dumb shit all the time. It's so weird. It's like every time he does make a bad decision, it seems like he's fully aware that he should be making a different decision. I don't know. I don't know if it's just he's just not. I just feel like Chase is someone. If I guess I feel like it's kind of like Cody Calafiore, BB16. Cody Calafiore, BB16, he was just walking around doing nothing. He was very likable. He was kind of smart, and he was angry and hot-headed, and he was emotional and da-da-da, and, he just made it to the end and lost. But after studying the game and genuinely taking aside all of his feelings and really wanting to play, Cody is one of the best players in Big Brother history. And he went from this random person who made this dumbass, egregious decision, took the best player to the end, lost. Obviously, everyone was trashing him, to this very good player. And for some reason, it feels like for me, if Chase were to study Survivor and Chase were to genuinely want to play the game, he could be a good player because he is great socially. Nyanka gave him the damn idol. Nyanka, out of everybody, gave him an idol. Nyanka wouldn't even give up her reward when she was going to Ponderosa that night. Like, I promise you, like, I just feel like Chase has great qualities. It's just his head not in the game all the time. It's weird. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I'm glad I've seen him, because with Survivor, I don't know random Survivor players at all. Like, I only know the heavy hitters. So I'm glad we're able to watch these, because now I know, like, Holly and Chase and Marty. Really interesting.
Yeah. Same with Borneo. Like, I remember a lot more names that I thought I would have. Now, some of them are still like, who? But for the most part, I'm getting more like these iconic names in my lexicon of Survivor knowledge. So I'm happy about that. But I mean, once again, I think everything you're saying is true about Chase, and the thing that keeps getting in his way is that he is more of an emotionally driven player, as well as everyone is in this cast, which is why it really takes a level of knowing the game to be able to, in my opinion, not play people, but know who you're working with. Like, you should have known that you potentially not taking Sash could have been a bad thing for you, because Sash was upset about it. He just chose not to act on it. But then even in the next round where he doesn't choose Fabio, it's like, you promised that boy that.
Literally.
So it's just like, do you not understand the type of cast that you're on? Like, y'all have been arguing and beefing and slick shading each other the entire time. So to go out of your way to promise someone something and not follow through with it is just so he puts himself in these positions. It's like, why are you fucking yourself up deliberately?
Literally. Zidaman says, just wait till y'all get to Token Teens. Is Token Teens Tyson? Who is Token Teens? Name somebody.
Sound like Tyson.
Is it Tyson and Coach or something like that?
That makes sense. I feel like
that was a very emotional cast. That's why I thought of them, but I'm not sure if that's who it was. JT season. It's JT.
JT coming?
JT was a great player on his first time. I don't know what the fuck happened. That was crazy. But anyways, as
go against 3, it's gonna cost you.
Oh, it was Coach and Tyson as well. It was JT, Coach, Tyson, Fishback, Aaron. Why are you mentioning Aaron? Okay, Aaron was cunty. I ain't gonna hold you. Aaron was so cunty. Do you know who Aaron is?
No.
This is like this cunty. She has very jet black dark hair. I think she wore a beanie. Or I could be thinking of the wrong person. But anyways, we move. No, I shaded Aaron at first. I was like, no, I remember that was a cunty queen. My bad. Was he a great player? JT, I won't say he was a great player. I would say he played a very organized, seamless game. It reminds me of Hayden in Big Brother 12. Honestly, it was just very organized. It was like, boom, we made it. Anyways, as they're on the reward, Holly and Chase are literally talking about how it was a dumbass decision. And back at camp, Sash is like, that was a dumbass decision. And he's talking to the 3 boys, and he's like, look, I mean, what's y'all game plan moving forward? Because I'd definitely be down to go with y'all. Just let me know your game plan. And no shade, Dan clocked him. Dan said, so you're not going to go with us if we don't give you a game plan?
Boy, and Sash started stuttering and stumbling, bitch. He said, "Well, I'm just, I mean, y'all haven't been talking to me, so, it's so funny watching him work because, baby, he was so like nervous. You could tell he kept stuttering throughout this episode. But I think his big mistake here is that once again, like, I don't think Sash himself is an emotional player, but the type of cast you're working with, he knows that he has to pull at heartstrings, and he does do that with people. And we saw him kind of do that this episode as well, like with expressing some of his frustration and how he later tells Jane that, like, oh, you're like a mom to me and things like that. And you cannot do that with players like this. Like, they both already see you in the middle. You don't have to, in my opinion, divide your time and make them both feel like you're absolutely loyal to them. Make them feel like you're loyal to them when you choose their side. Like, I don't think you have to go in so deep. And then when you choose a side, then you work from there. Because I was thinking, if I was in his position, I was saying I would choose the girls. I would make a final two with Holly. Then the next round, after Fabio leaves, because it would be Fabio.
Amen.
I would flip back. And take out Jane.
And he might do that. Or something along those lines.
Well, we saw that 2 episodes. He didn't do that.
Well, he did. He kind of did.
No. The whole alliance
not in that way.
The whole alliance flipped.
It was a whole alliance. It wasn't in that way.
But that would have been my plan, regardless of what Chase and Holly did. Exactly. My excuse my idea was I would have been like, Holly, look, girl, I trust you, but we can't get to the end with Jane.
Mm-hmm.
She ate it up.
She was thinking that anyways. Yeah, it literally would have ate.
I thought we need to flip. Just tell
that's what's weird about that. That's why I feel like Sash's what's happening. It seems like Sash is flip flop, but in reality, he's not doing what you just said. He's not actively working with them and playing them and turning on them and then working with them and flipping. He's not actively doing that. He's just going with the tide of the game and he's helping move it a little bit, but he's not flip flop. So it's like
he just has this reputation. It's all about perception.
Yeah, it is. So the rewarders come back to the camp. Everyone's back. And Benry talks to Chase first. And Benry is basically saying he's willing to vote for Fabio. Not going to lie, I thought this whole conversation was a lie. I thought it was some bullshit at first. I was like, girl, Benry just talking. Chase is just talking. They're on different sides. They don't agree. But if you remember, Benry and Chase were in the same alliance the very first vote. Well, the very first round for like Shannon. An hour. Because they was both white men. No shade. It was Shannon. So that was a thing. And it seems like Benry kept that relationship up. And the whole time Chase just doesn't like him. But Benry does like Chase. So in this moment, he's being honest. But to us, it seems like, girl, is he? Immediately, Chase talks to Sash. He knows he has to do damage control. And I will say, I think Chase did good damage control. And I think that was a part of the reason Sash felt comfortable doing it. And Holly, because Holly comes over eventually as well. But Chase is basically like, sorry, I didn't take you. And Sash was like, yeah, because that was actually going to be your ass a little bit. And he was like, well, the reason I didn't take you is because I trusted you with these boys. I trust that you're going to vote with us 100%. I never doubted you.
I wouldn't have believed shit that nigga said.
Girl. He said, I never doubted you. I knew you were going to vote with us this whole time. And Sash was like, are you willing to cut Jane? That's all Sash is worried about. Truly. Are you willing to cut Jane? Do you know that Jane got to go? Do you know that you can't go to the end with Jane?
Poor Jane. She's just surrounded by sharks all looking at her.
Girl. So in this moment, it seems like they're all agreeing that they're going to continue to work together. So Holly, Chase, and Sash, they're talking and they start talking about if they should vote Benry or Fabio. And the vote at first was giving Fabio because all of the other girls had just talked. Well, Benry had just talked about being willing to vote Fabio. But Sash is like, girl, I think that's a lie anyways. And Chase is like, I think Benry's more of a threat anyways. So they are starting to decide that Benry should be the vote.
And the thing is, I can definitely get it. Like, if you're in the game and you don't know what the jury is thinking, you don't understand that Fabio may have some win equity. I would also he think that a lot of his win equity comes from these last few episodes where he continuously win immunity. Which they have not seen happen yet. So I do understand the thinking. It's just, I don't know, because I know Fabio wins, so I can't say that they shouldn't have done it. Yeah, no, I guess
Benry seems way smarter.
It makes sense. No, it makes so much sense. The issue is it doesn't make sense that Fabio won the season which is why I'm trying to make an argument, but I can't make an argument.
The results don't make sense. Is the truth.
Benry should have went home over Fabio. That's bad.
I think this was the right decision. I think Benry is way more. The fact that Benry is willing to flip on Fabio, that alone shows that Benry is smarter than Fabio. He's way smart. He is way smarter, and Benry's still not smart, and that's the unfortunate part. But in this game, gameplay-wise, Benry is a better player in that sense. He's willing to pivot. He's willing to move around. He's willing to go against Fabio if he has to. He's willing to turn on Dan if he has to. I genuinely think taking out Benry was the better move. I think Benry was the smarter player. I don't think either, it's crazy. I was going to say, I don't think either Benry or Fabio are good enough to win, but Fabio does win. But in this moment, it feels like neither Benry or Fabio should beat Chase, Sash, Holly, or Jane. And I stand by, he shouldn't. He shouldn't beat anyone except Dan. And there's two people in the final with him.
1,000%. I mean, he hasn't done anything. The people who have been carrying the game has been Brenda and the Uncles Alliance, which the remaining people are Holly, Jane, Sash, and Chase.
Yeah.
And Dan, Benry, and Fabio have been nothing but flailing around all season. And I do not count immunity wins as doing something when there are two other aspects of the game that are to be played.
Yeah. And it's weird because I try not to believe in bitter juries, and I still don't really. I still feel like it's your responsibility to get the jury to vote for you, and I don't think Sash has done a great job at doing that. I don't know who the other person in the final three is, if I'm being honest. However, this jury decision is probably the one that I'm least impressed by. I really don't like their decision. I really don't, considering how little Fabio has done. I think it's ridiculous.
Like the edit can't even force him down our throat. That's how much he has done. Like,
yeah, how little he's done. It's ridiculous. I hate this. I can't wait to see the actual jury segment and how it goes. And I still don't think if you didn't get the jury votes, you deserved it. Like Sash, you clearly didn't do something right. But damn, I hate this result. So yes, Benry is figuring out that he can't trust Sash, but he still wants to work with Holly and Chase, which is why he's still on the side of voting out Fabio. So that's what we're looking at, and it kind of stays that way the rest of the day. They do immunity real quick. During immunity, Sash wins. He claims he's been throwing these immunities, and now he's ready to win them. We'll see, girl.
Girl, we gonna see, because you really needed to start doing so.
We'll see, girl. And then we go back to the camp. When we go back to the camp, there is a little moment of Fabio feeling like he's in trouble. They're trying to give him as much credit as they can. And they're like, oh, it seems like Fabio knows he's in trouble. Let's talk about that. Girl, barely. One conversation with Sash, he no longer thinks that. He's like, oh, I'm good. Benry tells him they're voting
he was
Holly.
like, me and Sash are really close. I know for a fact if I was in danger that Sash would tell me. And it's like, kudos to Sash. But once again, Sash, what the hell are you doing? You got these people thinking this, and then you're going to backstab them? Like, if we're being honest, like, it's hard in a season like this where people are so in their feelings most of the time, because you really can't actively play the game. Like, even what Chase is doing, it's still actively playing the game. It may be a little sloppy. It may be a little backstabby at times, but it's playing the game. Holly has backstabbed people in this game. Jane has backstabbed people in this game. Yeah. Like, they're playing it. So for them to get mad at each other, for the other cast members to get mad at people, it just, that's where it gets like, I can't respect the jury, because y'all are hypocrites. It reminds me of BB Can 12. It's like, y'all are mad at the people in the final two for doing what you did.
Right. For playing the game well. I'm confused.
Because Marty was backstabbing, Brenda was backstabbing, Erica was backstabbing, everybody was backstabbing.
Kelly was backstabbing.
So why, at the end of the day, do we want to vote for the village idiot that wasn't doing shit?
Ooh. I know that's right. So boom. Fabio's the only person who thinks it's that the vote is Holly. He's fully left out. There's two fake plans. The first fake plan is that Holly is the vote, and Fabio's the only person who thinks that. The second fake plan is that Fabio's the vote, and Benry and Dan think that, and they're wrong. And then everyone else, the big four, all understand that the real vote is going to be Benry, and the four of them vote together this round. And that's what we get at the tribal council. And I think this tribal council, for me, if I was a juror, would prove to me that I could never vote Fabio to win. He was fully not in he wasn't in the fake plan. He was the fake plan. Like, you weren't even close to being correct about what was going on. You were the only person who voted Holly. You had no idea. You clearly have no idea what you're doing. every single tribal council, he's confused. He doesn't understand what's happening. He's one-track minded. He's talking about Nayanka when no one else is targeting her. It's just never been good. It's just so weird. But Benry gets voted out instead because that's what they decide, leaving Fabio and Dan, seemingly Fabio and Dan, and seemingly these four all together. And that was the plan. That was the plan moving forward, is for the four of them to stick together, take out Fabio and Dan, get to the final four, move forward from there.
But no. They had to turn on my good sister.
Yeah.
In a very sick way.
Yeah.
Like, this is very dark side the way they do this.
Yeah, I hated this. You know what I was thinking this episode? I was like, I would rather be blindsided with the vote. Don't tell me beforehand. I don't think I would want them to tell me beforehand. I don't think.
If I get told beforehand, I'm putting out the fire. I'm burning the food. I'm hiding clothes. I'm hiding shoes. I'm exposing alliances. I'm exposing idols. Bitch, literally. I'm doing it all. Literally. Blindside me.
Blindside the fuck out of me. I don't know.
I feel like worse. My back is against the wall and I have nowhere to go. Everything is coming out, and best believe I'm gonna know a lot.
That tarp getting burned. The whole shelter is getting taken down.
Bitch, I will knock that shelter down, bitch.
Genuinely. Like, please quit playing with me. They shouldn't tell me. Okay.
I'm killing the chickens.
Okay. Wait, she wouldn't have killed the chickens. That was her friends.
I'm not her.
You're right. So, we start this episode off. Of course, Sash is doing damage control with Fabio. He's keeping him as his main apple scrapple. I bet at this point, Sash thinks he can beat Fabio and Dan, because his whole thing was, I want to go to the end with Nayanka and Kelly Purple because I could beat both of them. So I'm sure he's thinking about Holly and Chase and Jane, and it's like, you can't beat either of them. So in my mind, I think Sash wants to go to the end with Fabio and Dan, but he hasn't explicitly said that just yet. So yeah, we'll see. But we get the reward. They get these videos of their family members, and then they get to see their family members because they come out for the reward.
I love this moment so much. Like, I really wish they bringing the family out there. Like, it just brings me to tears. Like, the empathy really starts flowing, and I just feel really for them in that moment. Like, imagine being on that island, starving, tired, overworked, hungry, all the things. And then you just see your mother, your daughter, your son, your sister, just somebody, a friend, somebody. Yeah. That's like, oh my God, take me out of this reality that I'm in right now. You know, It's just, I love it so much. It's so cute.
I don't know who would be the best person for me to see in that moment. Probably, it's hard because I want to say probably my mom, but sometimes she don't be saying the right things. I need someone who can motivate me to continue to move forward. I would just be happy to see my mom, and that would probably be enough. But I would love for someone to like really push me through the rest of the season. I've heard stories of like people who made it to the finals or winners who talked about how when they had their love visit, it really pushed them to keep charging through the rest of the season. Like, honestly. So yeah. Damn, James said, am I the only person who fast forward the family visits? I love the family visits.
I used to feel like that, but as I've gotten older, it really hits home harder.
Yeah, I've always loved it because I did a big rewatch of every Survivor season, most of the Survivor seasons. And in that moment, I just love every family visit. I loved, because when you're really watching a season of Survivor, like slowly, you start to like really appreciate the characters. Like even this rewind, I really appreciate Jane and I really appreciate Holly, and there's things to appreciate about Chase sometimes and Sash's gameplay. So it's like at this moment, I'm happy to see Jane see her daughter. I'm happy to see, or it's sweet seeing Chase and his mama. It's sweet seeing these things. If I'm watching the season half-assed and I haven't been paying attention and I come in, I probably don't give a fuck, if I'm being honest. But knowing the people, it really does hit a little harder. No shame. So yeah, I liked it. So they come in and they play the reward, and I love that they play the reward with them. That's another thing I miss. I miss when the family would play with them in the challenges.
Yes.
Like, come on, bring it.
I was like, girl, me and mama, I would just be like, girl, do your best. Do your best, mama. Do your best. I think for me, like, mama wouldn't have to say anything. Like, her being there, like, her general words of encouragement that I've kind of always grew up with, it would like sit in my mind and be like, you have to do this. You have to do this. Like, so I feel like that would be enough motivation. But I wouldn't be too pressed if I didn't get to go on a little reward with them, because that's kind of what we get into. Of course, Chase wins again, and he has to choose the people that go on the reward with him. He chooses Holly first again. And I'm like, what's the
I don't know why he
relationship
did
with
that.
Holly? Because, and I guess Jane was just as confused because she was like, we the North Carolinians, like, what's T on that? You know, like he's really close with Holly, and I think Holly can beat him. So while you worried about Jane, girl, you need to be worried about Holly as well.
I agree.
I do love that about Chase as well, though. I love a man that doesn't just work with other men because they're other men. Like, and kind of reminds me of Captain Will in BB-27. Like, you're secure enough in yourself that you will work with the oldest women on the tribe and not give a fuck. Period. 100%. I love that.
Both the oldest women. 2 of the oldest women.
Literally. I love that. So really good heart from him, honestly. But he then chooses Sash, which it's like, okay, smarter play than last time. Keep your alliance intact. But this time, you done already promised Fabio that you're going to take him on the reward. We saw the conversation where they were talking about their parents and how all this stuff. And once again, twice in a row, you have played in someone's face. I don't know how you think you're going to get jury votes with these emotional ass people. I don't know who you think you're going to beat in the end, going to the end with Holly. Like, Chase is just in the clouds. So thank God he's pretty. Thank God he's pretty because, baby, because decisions.
Even choosing Sash this time was a way. He should have chose. If you're going to choose Sash, you should have chosen him last time. So that way, this time you don't have to choose Sash, and you can choose someone who you promised.
My thing is, why do you choose like? Consistently choosing allies is just stupid. Like, I'm sorry, if I wanted a reward, the first one I'm choosing allies. The second and third one, bitch, out of being fair, you don't have to go on another one. Holly just went on the last one. She will be okay.
She will be okay.
Fabio, this person you just literally swore down to. And now I will say this. I stand by her. I love her.
Amen.
But this is the one thing I was like, Jane, hold up now,
girl.
Because why was Jane mad? No shade, Jane. R.I.P. sister. Why was you mad? Why was you mad, girl? You low-key can't be mad because I'm thinking like, girl, you just got brought on the last reward challenge and you wasn't even promised to go on that one. You can't sit up here and be mad about this. Like, she has partaken in things before.
Yeah.
So I'm like, girl, why are you
multiple rewards?
It gave, she just kind of jumped on the bandwagon, no shade. But also she was feeling like this alliance chose each other. But at the same time, girl, you knew it was only 3 people that can go. Like, somebody was gonna be that person.
Yeah, and you had this one on
last round. It was Sash. This round is you. You know, I don't know. Like, it's just, like I said, I can't do the. And this is from everybody, not just Jane. I just can't do the deep personal feelings towards this game. Like, I would be beat up about it, but I'm not gonna say that just cost him $1 million.
Right.
I'm still going to look at his game as a whole. Him not choosing me for a reward has nothing to do with the game of Survivor.
Yeah. I felt the same way about Jane. I was like, girl, what? And then I also feel like Chase is just a very social player. I remember when Nyanka was very cold the first time and he went to her and told her that story about his life to relate to her. I think he's just extremely personal and extremely social naturally. So, because Jane mentioned she's not going to see her daughter till college, and he knew that. And that made her mad because he's like, I'm not going to see my daughter because she's going to college and this is her last summer. So why the fuck you didn't do that? And she's like taking all of these conversations they had, and that's what's making her mad. And the reason Fabio and him made a deal is because they both had conversations about their mom and how they both care about their mom.
Stop having conversations.
And it's like, well, no, don't do that.
That's the hard thing.
Yeah,
I'm really confused because like I feel like if I was to ever play one of these shows where I could like individually speak to people and be in their faces, like that is what I would lead with. I would lead with getting to know them socially. Like, I always believe if you're going to have an alliance with someone, you should be closest with everyone in that alliance, but you should be having deep personal conversations with them every day.
100%.
Literally. How's your home life? What's your mama's like? Oh, what's your mama's name? Pharaoh, no, those are questions I ask all the time. That's just me naturally. That's how I try to bond with people because fuck all the bullshit. Like, if we're gonna be on this island together, working together, I didn't know who you are as a person. Okay. So it's hard because how do you work around that in a cast that's like this, that's like are gonna get pissy mad every time you do something strategically? We saw with Kim Spradlin, they got on her ass. We got with Sarah Lucina, they got on her ass. And it's like, because they're eating y'all up so well that you cannot believe that they would turn on you, you're shocked and you're gagged. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
I can't believe that. Like, they ate you up, girl. And I guess because in their mind, they're like, I've heard people say, like, I thought I made a true connection, and now I just feel like it's not real. Like we saw that with Surrey on The Trader. It's like, now I just feel like it's not real. And it's like, I just don't understand that logic. Like, this is still a game. Like, just because it's a game does not mean that I can't create a relationship with you and still use you.
It just hurts. I think there's a certain person who can execute it very well. There's a balance you have to hold between being very socially personable with everyone and them understanding who you are as a player. I think there's a who you are as a person and there's a who you are as a player. And for some people, they don't show them who they are as a player. And I think if you don't do that, that's what causes these angry emotions. I think who Sarah Lacina, who Kim Spradlin, who this man, what's his man name? Chase is, as a player, they hide from, well, Chase doesn't have to hide it, but I think Sarah and Kim hide who they are as players from the rest of the people. So all the people get from them is who they are as a person. I don't think Kim lets people know she's the strategic mastermind cutthroat person. They don't know that. So when it happens, it's like, whoa, who the fuck is that? You're evil. And I think same with Sarah Lacina. I think there is a very slick balance that some people can try to have to make it not hurt that bad, which is something I probably would try to do if I'm playing the game. I want you to know I'm playing the game, but I don't want you to feel threatened by that. But I also want you to feel personally connected to me. It's a lot that you have to do. The issue is they didn't think Kim or Sarah Lacina were playing the game in that way. They just thought they were being friendly, nice people and creating these deep connections. It's like, no, baby, I'm actually playing this Boston Rob cutthroat game. And It's like, when you're that social, I think it's important for the people to know you're also playing the game, because if they don't, I think it's going to be a little off. But Kim, I think Kim did a good job. I think Kim did as good as she could, because I think that was hard, but I still think she did as good as she could to try to like still be actively a part of the game. She was very like controlling a lot of things. She was having multiple strategic conversations. She did as good as she could. I think with Sarah, it was way less easy to see. She was very much so game bot sometimes, social bot the other times. I don't know. It's hard, girl. I don't know, girl. But we move. So yes, Chase is getting drugged by everybody because what he decided to do. I thought that was a very dumb decision. And they are feeling like, well, Jane is feeling like she doesn't feel comfortable with the alliance. And at first I was like, girl, you're just talking. Girl, she was
right.
Maybe
she felt something in the water.
She was right.
Now that I go back, because I'm mainly speaking on how she was just so over Chase in that moment.
Yeah.
But in general, girl, maybe she was feeling something deep in that spirit. Maybe she felt something, because baby, they played in her fucking face.
They did. So we get to the immunity. This one was cute. I feel like they should bring this one back. You're blindfolded. You have to feel around for certain pieces, go to the other side and recreate the pieces on the other side. I like this immunity. Fabio ends up winning, and we are starting our Fabio train, I believe. I think it's going to be Fabio every day, girl, which is unfortunate. Why is he so good at these? I don't know. Jesus. So we get back to the camp. Fabio and Chase, they have a conversation, and Chase initially is like, well, I want to do Dan. And Fabio was like, well, why aren't we just doing Jane? Aren't we all supposed to be doing Jane right now? And then he agrees. Everyone kind of feels, it's an energy in the air. Everyone feels it's Jane's time to go. Jane is the person who's going to win the game. At this point, the 4 people have the numbers moving forward because it's 4 versus 2, so it'll just be 3 versus 2. Jane is everyone's biggest threat. Everybody feels like Jane needs to go. I personally think Chase, sometimes the personal relationships or the personal feelings should come in between the game. I think Jane staying would have been better for Chase. I don't think
he was
Chase
losing regardless.
I think and that's T. One, but also two, I think he has a better chance to win the longer Jane stays, because the longer Jane stays, the more time she will be the main target.
Literally.
And if Jane goes, you're now that person who has all the connections in the jury because you were close with Jane.
I don't know if I'm remembering wrong. I do think that Sash turns on Chase and Holly at some point. And it's like he wouldn't have had time to do that if Jane was still in the game. He would still need you and Holly to go after someone like Jane. So it's like, in general, I don't know if that's what happens, but I know from what we know so far about Sash, he is not the most loyal player. So in this scenario where the numbers are so tight, why would you allow Sash to have this much power again? He was just deciding between both sides. Jane goes, what's stopping him from doing that again?
Yeah, Holly as well. I think they should have waited one more round. If they were going to take out Jane, it should have been at 5, not at 6. I think 6 leaves too much space for Sash to flip. Y'all don't really trust Sash, and you shouldn't trust Sash. Specifically, Chase and Holly, they've had conversations about not really trusting Sash that much. And it's like, they should have waited one round. It should have went Fabio. Well, Fabio has immunity. It should have went Dan. Remove that. Should have went Dan this round. So that way there's no numbers to mitigate anything Chase and Holly are doing. And then the next round, Jane can go. Or if Jane wins immunity, that's fine. Fabio can go. If Fabio wins immunity, great. Jane can go. Next round, Jane or Fabio can go. And then we can move forward. And then we can make it to the final 3. And either way, they have the votes. I feel like Holly and Chase are both in a very good position to win the game after Jane is gone. The issue is that how do you get there after Jane is gone? Sash is smart enough to take y'all ass out, and I think they're just
and
not.
And that's why Sash really deserves to win it, because even with this perception that he has, he's still able to say, "Well, look, y'all, turn and get your closest ally that you've been working with for the last I don't know how many days, this season." You know what I mean? And they're like, "Okay." And just doing it. No matter if it's just in the air. We saw Chase say he want to do Dan. Sash put it on the table as an option. And they was just like.
It reminds me of Sage and Christina last episode of Survivor 49 voting out Steven. Because they were like, well, he's the next person who can win the game. It's this whole concept of like, who's a threat to win. And that happened at top 6 as well. That was top 6 for them as well. It's like, top 6 is too early. If you're going to take out Steven, because Steven's this big threat socially in the jury, they have a better perception of the island better than us. So let's say Steven is going to beat both of them in the final 3. Let's just say they're right. You still don't take him out at top 6. You take him out at top 5, where you can still have the numbers moving forward. Don't take him out when there's still a trio on the other motherfucking side. And in this situation, don't take Jane out when there's still a duo that Sash, who you don't trust, can flip to and make it a trio. Like, I really just think they're one round too early in the ideology of that. They really should just take out this weak-ass person, Dan. And I think it's also the same thing as they were thinking, in the sense that Sophie is weak. She's not a threat. So why would we waste a vote on Sophie when we can just take out Homeboy? And I feel like it's the same thing here. Why, quotations, waste a vote on Dan when we can just take out Jane? Because if they're not taking out Jane, they got to vote out Dan, and I don't think they feel like that is doing anything, but it is. This is a numbers game. Come on now. But we move. So, of course, Sash has a conversation with Holly and Chase, essentially convincing them to vote out Jane. Holly already wants to do this. I'm not going to say she got convinced. She wants to do that.
Holly is really playing the fuck out of this game.
I love Holly.
I would have loved to see Holly as the winner of this season, honestly.
Love Holly. So yeah, Jane is the vote. Jane comes over, and they lay the news on her.
Sorry, too. And I think this is because of how she's been playing. No one is mad, it seems, about her decisions. I don't know if it's the edit not showing people be upset, but people don't seem to be fully upset. Now, Jane had that moment in Tribal where she called Holly out. But I'm like, I'm not getting a sense that she's making people bitter. Like, I think Holly still has a chance if she were to make it.
I do agree. I fully agree. It doesn't seem like she's being snaky, but it's because of, I think it's because of what I said. People know Holly the player. You have to let people know who you are as the player. Holly has always been like this. This is the girl who took Dan's shoes and put it in the water. And because she set that precedent, her perception is that this is how she plays the game. So when she does these things, it's not upsetting or surprising. Sash plays in your face and says you're like his mom and you're like his son and you're like his brother and he loves you. He doesn't show you who he is as a player. And then when he does, you're like, oh, you're a weirdo fucking liar bitch. And same with Chase. Chase isn't as slimy as Sash, but he still does things in the game against people like Jane, who's been claiming is his best main apple scrapple from
North Carolina.
North Carolina, whatever the fuck, girl. Sorry. Like Jane, and it's like it hurts more when it's like, bitch, you didn't tell me you were playing the game like this. With Holly, I'm not mad at Holly. I knew Holly was playing. I knew who I was playing with. I knew it was a snake right here, so I'm not mad at the snake for biting me. These other two, you were a snake in sheep's clothing. So now
that's why I think Nyanka probably could have won with a cast like this because she was 100%. Real. She was herself. Like if she went to that final tribal and said that against Sash and Purple Kelly, I think she could have got it.
It's this cast is for people who are real, which is why unfortunately, why Fabio has the best representation for the final three. I feel is because he was the most. He was just Fabio. He was just Fabio. That's who he was the entire game. There was no pretending. There was no playing. There was no backstabbing. There was no fooling with people's emotions. He was who he was. He said what he said. He argued with Nyanka when he wanted to. He did what he wanted. He voted how he wanted, and it was respectable for this specific cast. And I think Holly would have been respected as well for that same reason. And Jane would have been respected for the same reason. They're just real ass bitches, truly. But we move. So we get to tribal. And like you said, Jane called all the bitches out. She said, look, I'm just going to say it. There's no loyalty on this trial. Oh, after she put out that motherfucking fire, actually.
Yeah, no. That's what I'm saying. Like when we get the moment of the alliance coming together and she's like, oh, I'm just thinking it's Dan, right? And they're all quiet. And she's like, is it me? And here go Chase. Well, is that what y'all are thinking? Chase, shut up. Chase would have pissed me off right there. And they basically, without fully saying it, says that she is going home. And it was so sad in that moment because her face, she was so hurt. She felt so betrayed. Yeah. And she said, the wrath of Jane is coming out, baby. She took that water and she poured out that fire. She said, bitch, I set it up. I'll tear down that.
That was so cunty.
Like, it just sucks. It just sucks the way this happens because she was such a warm and kind spirit. And I do understand the fear of her being a jury threat, but it just sucks because I would have loved to see her win.
Yeah, loved her. The Chase moment is exactly why he loses this game. The whole, is this what we're doing? Is this what you guys... Because he does the same shit at Tribal Council, and you saw the jury's response. They were disgusted because Jane calls everybody out. You know, she calls out Holly.
I will say,
what's up?
Unpopular opinion, maybe. I don't see it as him necessarily not knowing what he's doing and trying to have someone else say the word. I feel like what he's doing is trying to make them just as accountable as he is.
Okay.
Because they're sitting there crickets and he's the one speaking in both situations. So he's like, I mean, is that not what we're saying, y'all? Are we not voting? I mean, Sash, you was the main one who brought her name up. She's asking, what's T? Same at the tribal. It's like, well, they're asking, what are we doing, y'all? I guess he doesn't have to speak at all, but I think that's his way of being like, I'm not going to be the only one getting in trouble for this.
The issue is that everyone knows he doesn't want to do these things because same thing happened with Brenda. He didn't want to vote Brenda out, and he still did it. He didn't want to vote Jane out, and because they know he doesn't want to do it, it seems like you're looking for approval. I do agree that a little bit. I feel like it is probably also that, but I think the perception, which I feel like is reality, is you don't want to do something else, and here you are doing it again, and I think it just looks so bad because after Holly gets called out for being this coach and this she ate her up. I'm sorry.
You're a coach and a mentor, and you're stealing over such and such amount of personal property. I said, girl, is she spilling some Ponderosa tea?
I thought so too.
I thought Holly was out here scamming bitches. I said, wait a minute. But no, talking about Dan's shoes. I said, oh, girl, bye.
I thought so too, though.
She ate her. I thought Jane was spilling some... I thought she was spilling some nasty tea on Holly. I was like, go to... She was like, people like that go to jail where I'm from.
Literally.
I said, go to jail? Holly, what you out here doing?
Talking about them shoes. I literally thought she was spilling that tea, girl. But no, she ate them the fuck up. And so Jeff clears it up. And I feel like Jeff was doing a way too much talking in this tribal council because he's like, so what I'm hearing is that there's 3 people who are all in the alliance and there's 3 people who aren't in the alliance. Girl. So hypothetically, the 3 people not in the alliance could all get together and maybe get their votes together. And maybe you guys could talk about it right now and decide on the vote. And maybe the vote could be Holly. Like, damn.
No, like he was really trying to get them to form something, and they just did not want to do it. Jane looked over and looked back like, hello, why were y'all not been having these conversations? Jane, they told you at camp. No shade, Jane should have been on that and went to Fabio and Dan to try and get something started before tribal itself. But I found that so funny. Jeff wanted them to fight back so bad. He was like, fight back, okay?
He did.
He was like, yeah, my mom would look at the TV right now and say, well, why aren't they making an alliance? Because why are y'all not making an alliance?
No, literally, like, and Fabio and Dan dumbass sitting there looking stupid. Like, he's like, well, are y'all thinking of it? They're like, well, I guess it might make a little sense now that you're saying it. Like, and I just like the jury seemed so disgusted. The jury seemed so disgusted. And then he goes to Chase and he's like, well, he goes to the 3 and he's like, so are y'all just saying y'all will vote out Fabio and Dan are next? Is that what it is? It's just the 2 and after Jane going, Fabio and Dan are next? And that's when Chase is like, well, I mean, I think whoever doesn't win immunity, right, guys? And it flashed to the jury, and the jury was like, what? Because it's like, what do you mean, right, guys? But also, I think what you were saying makes sense as well. Like, girl, y'all better speak the fuck up because why are y'all here? And then they barely wanted to agree. But it also made it seem like, you know what that felt like to me? It felt like foreshadowing of Holly and Sash probably aren't going to just vote the person who doesn't win immunity. They're probably voting you if you don't win immunity. Ooh. That's the gag. Like, Jane being gone, boom. If Fabio wins immunity, I don't think they are voting Dan.
Why are we sitting Dan home?
I think they're voting your ass. And I think that was also foreshadowing of like, bitch, you shouldn't be voting Jane. You're the main one who shouldn't be voting Jane. That's your main motherfucking apple stopper from North Carolina. Dumbass. But we move.
Yeah, she would have had Chase's back to the end. I think she would have chose Chase over Holly.
100%. I agree. So Chase and Sash played their idols. This was the last round, which is interesting. It was top 6 here. That's the last round to play their idol. And we were just talking about with Riz God, how he's claiming top 6 was the last round to play his, but it's top 5. But as we see in season 21, top 6 was the last time to play the idol. So it's very interesing that there was
about a bitch.
Where was
so time. I guess you could be a Survivor fan and still get tripped up, girl.
Well, you gotta watch the new era. You can't be watching 21 and going by that. So Jane is voted out. We have our top 5.
G.I. Jane.
If Holly don't win, the season is a chop altogether. Truly.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, I can't see how anyone else would win.
The only way the only way the season could have been good at this point is if Holly won. 100%. Any other winner, I can't say it's a good season. I can say it's okay. I think it's okay. I think Bianca carried for a lot.
Yeah, definitely campy. Maybe more on the mid side. We should do that. Did we discuss that?
We should do that. This is only our second one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we should do that. Let's do that next episode when we're done.
Period.
Let's rank the girls. We had the 3 chops and chop. No need to change that. I don't believe.
No, they've been chopping the whole 2 episodes. So
yep. Sash
is kind of camp.
He's kind of camp. He's playing the game pretty well, I'd say.
Maneuvering it around my king. Yeah, my guy.
Okay. Yeah, he's doing things. What's his man name?
Chase.
Child. Yeah, he was where he belonged. Jane is definitely mother. And honestly, Jane got to be the only mother. Like,
I was just going to say, Holly got to go down for taking out her mother. She didn't eat that up. She didn't eat that. That was Sash's move. Put Sash above Holly, actually.
Okay, I know that's right. Like, I don't think it was as good for her. I think Holly's in an icky position. Sash is finna win the game, but Jane is mother down. Look at everybody in the
chat.
Out
as a mother.
They said mother, stay mother. Holly, mother as usual.
Well,
sorry. Almost. We'll put her back next episode, maybe.
She on punishment.
Yeah, she is on punishment.
For taking out a bad bitch.
Okay. Get into the next 2 episodes. We're going to be watching the finale and the reunion next Monday. Next Tuesday. Tune in with us. Be back. Get into it or whatever, baby. Okay. I'll be discussing, of course, the Survivor finale is tomorrow. And baby, it's going to be a long time until it's over because of Redacted is having a speech or something like that for Survivor. So we'll still be here tomorrow for Big Brother Canada and Survivor. Just bear with us and the rest of the world of the United States. The challenge
Girl,
review
the
part
world,
2
actually.
on
He's a
Friday.
worldwide threat.
Yeah. Damn. Somebody said a 2-hour nap. Amen. Hey, motherfucking man. Baddies USA. Da da da. Get into the other shit. Okay. Also, if you haven't already, join our Discord. We do a lot of chatting. There's a lot of girls talking about all the shows we're watching, all the shows we're covering. We're chatting about RJP's Mafia game. We're chatting about our own werewolf game, which if you haven't seen it, go check out our werewolf game, baby. Okay, get into the other stuff. Also, Reality Rewind. We have more seasons coming up. Which I've edited this on the actual thing. But we have more seasons coming up, so get into that. Make sure you send in your votes in for the next season of Reality Rewind as well. And that's all, baby. Thank you for keeping it real with the kingdom. We're out. Bye.